So welcome back to the channel, everybody. Matt here. Welcome back to the cabin. It's been a while. Well, as you can see in this video, this is the first fire of the wood stove for the season. From the last video to now, you probably noticed the forest here was quite green and quite warm. And in this video, the leaves are falling. It is officially fall. It is the middle of October here in mid-Michigan, and we are at peak color right now in our forests around the area. Absolutely beautiful time to be in the woods. I highly encourage anybody who has the time, get out and spend some time outside in the fall. It's a really good time to be outside. As for the cabin, in the last video, I alluded to a few projects that I was going to work on, some that day. I didn't video all of those, probably should have, but I've been taking it easy. I've been watching my kids play football. My daughter cheers. We're quite busy with that stuff, and the fall time is a very, very busy time for us. So my content has been lacking, but I think that's nearing an end, and I should be able to start producing some more content for the channel soon. Today, I'm just kind of, like I said, first fire in the stove. I want to make sure everything works good. I want to get the place heated up once, and we've done a few things. I'll show you here in a second what I've done inside the cabin as well as outside the cabin, and I can reiterate or go over again some of the projects that I intend to do, maybe some yet this fall, but definitely in the future. So yeah, I hope you're enjoying this video so far. Let's take a quick tour around, take a look at the color, and let you know what we have in store for the channel in the coming months. All right, well, I'm going to show you guys right down to the small details that you probably wouldn't pick up on unless I said something about them. So let's start with the chimney, since we're having first fire in the stove. This top section is new. As you can see when I back up, I wanted to get that extended up just a little bit more, closer to above the peak of the building, just for safety reasons. So I bought another 2-foot piece, put that on there. Pretty much everything else out here remains the same as you've been watching. I do have some more grading to do with my tractor around the site. If I back up, you see I have a nice trail going back this way now. That's where, I guess we'd call it my sand pit, that's where I've been getting my fill material. Not sure what I want to do with that yet, but I do have some material that I placed around the cabin, and I made kind of a path, I guess, around the outside that you can ride a four-wheeler around just for access. Boy, look at that maple tree behind the cabin. That sure is pretty. Turning around, in the last video I did mention a couple things that I was going to do, one of which was a little bit sturdier seating out here. So I took some deck boards that I had left over from a deck project, along with some concrete blocks, and those concrete blocks obviously will never rot, which is appealing for back here in the forest. And sitting the deck boards up off of the ground will take a really long time for them to rot too. Over here, I have 2 big 4x6s that were left over from when I was doing my sawmilling. And I'll be honest, I don't really have a good project for those. So I elected to make a really large, that's probably a 10-foot long bench. And I mean, that thing's super sturdy. So I have easily seating out here for 10 people. I don't remember if I showed this or not. I feel like I did, but these are leftover pieces. The two legs here look definitely like overkill for this small table, but they were left over from building the deck. And the first few times we stayed out here, you notice real fast that you have a lack of flat space to sit things. So I just built this little table here out of scrap pieces, and it's got a piece of treated plywood on top, and when that rots away, I'll pull it off there and put another one on. But another neat part is this hook up here. It's actually a bow hook for your bow when you're deer hunting, but I use it for a lantern. So we'll hang a lantern out here and be able to light the whole area up. Over here, I used to have a big pile of metal over here. There's some deer in the background. I don't know if you guys can see those. Right there. Apparently they don't like me out here. But anyway, I used to have a nice big pile of metal right here. And I used that metal to build a cover for my wood pile. So my wood pile, everything underneath this little rooftop thing is all good wood, good straight dimensional wood. You can see there's some true 2x4s in there. There's some 1x material on the bottom. It's not really accessible being stacked like that, but I definitely know what I have. I know that it'll stay dry, and it'll stay good even though it's outside. This will keep the rain and the snow off of it. Over here is a pile of leftovers, I guess. When you sawmill lumber, this is what you don't see at the box store. You know, there are some things, some pieces of wood that just don't end up working out. And these really warped ones over here is a perfect example. I will use those for something. If at a minimum, I'll use them for firewood. But I also have some 2x10s here, and some other 2x10s and 2x4s that are not really straight, but they're pretty straight. So those could be used for a kind of a makeshift building here. I'll explain to you a couple plans here in a minute. Actually, we'll talk about that now. So these may very well be used in one of the future projects that I want to do out here. And that is a building. Not even really necessarily a building, but maybe a 2 or 3 sided structure to do a variety of things. One of which could potentially be moving my maple syrup operation out here. If you watch my channel, you know that I make maple syrup every spring. And I always do that, and I cook it in my barn, which means I've got to come out here to the woods and collect everything and haul it up to my barn, which is quite convenient. I have heat in there and I'm out of the weather, but this little homestead area that I'm building out here would be a perfect place to do maple syrup. And I'm thinking that right here where this brown ladder is sitting, I may flatten out this area right here and put up a little 10x10 or 12x12 building, or I need to stop saying building, maybe lean-to, something like that, and put my maple syrup stove out here so that we can cook syrup outside. So that's one project that I may very well be able to use some of that lumber for, some of the stuff that's in that pile as well as the pile here. Another thing that I want to do out here is build an outhouse. Now, I've never built an outhouse. Pretty straightforward. It should only need to be about a 4x4 building, just big enough for a person to get in and do their business. But I want to build this outhouse where I can pick it up and move it with my tractor. I have forks on the front of my tractor, And what would be ideal, let's say we come out this way, back a little ways away from the house here, and dig a hole or auger a hole with the tractor, and I should be able to drive right up if I cut some of these trees down and put my outhouse over top of that hole. Now it might be good there for a few years, and when it comes time to move it, instead of disassembling it and moving it or some other means of moving it, it would be nice to be able to pick it up with my tractor and simply move it to a new spot. So when I do that project, I want to make sure that I build it in such a way that I can pick it up. So those are a couple things that we did. Let's walk inside here, and I'll see if I can show you guys what I've done on the inside, which is to say, not a ton. A little bit more decorating. I'm not sure if anyone recognizes the saws on the wall, but this saw to the left and the little saw to the right are new additions that perhaps you didn't see before. But what you definitely did not see is going to be these end tables. Just a very small, simple end table, 2 legs with a shelf underneath and a 2-inch thick pine top. Built very similar to that countertop here, but I built 2 of those. What we found is when this bed is folded out and we're in here trying to sleep or what have you, we found that it's pretty kind of a pain in the butt, I guess, when you got glasses or your phone or something like that and no place to put it. So I was reaching way over here on my side to the windowsill. My wife was reaching way over to the windowsill on her side. So now we'll have those tables there. And additionally, we could move these tables out front and, you know, kind of sit here and have a place to eat. We've yet to cook out here. I will say I've got some pans. You guys saw that before. And obviously we've got the wood stove. I also have a cook stove, a camp cook stove that I can bring back here that will run off of propane. It will make it just maybe a little bit easier and more convenient than trying to cook over the wood stove. But we definitely have a lot of potential out here. And I'll be honest, over the summer I spent a lot of time out here working on this place, and this fall has been pretty slow. I mean, you guys haven't seen my content lately, and likewise, I haven't had time to come spend out here in my woods, at my cabin. You guys probably noticed that I brought a crossbow with me. It is deer hunting season here in Michigan, and I thought if I was going to come back here and spend a little time in the woods that I would just have my crossbow with me, just in case. You never know. I could tell a lot of stories about deer hunting. I've been deer hunting since I was about 6 years old, and I'm 39 now, so you can do that math. But yeah, never hurts to have something with you when you're in the forest. So that's about it for this video. Nothing fancy. There's no project work going on today. I just wanted to let you guys in on the fall colors here at our property and take a look around and kind of see what's going on. We're going to ease back into this content production and hopefully get back into the swing of things. To be quite honest, in a cabin like this, I've actually been looking forward to the cooler weather, just because the cooler weather makes it a lot easier and more comfortable to do things. So as far as building, no bugs, a little bit cooler weather. So anyway, I appreciate you guys watching this video, and hopefully you'll stick around as we get back into the swing of things, and we'll see you on the next one.